What if the vegetables you trust the most are actually draining your strength after 60? Sounds crazy, right? But here's the hidden truth. Not all vegetables are created equal, especially as you age. Some may seem healthy, but quietly spike your blood sugar, inflame your joints, and weaken your circulation day after day. And the worst part? They're probably in your kitchen right now. If you've been feeling tired, foggy, or off balance lately, it may not be aging. It could be your diet, specifically the wrong vegetables cooked the wrong way. These daily mistakes raise A1C, disrupt insulin response, and accelerate muscle loss and joint pain. But here's the good news. The right vegetable choices can reverse that damage faster than you think. In this video, you'll discover the 4 vegetables that could be quietly wrecking your body and the 4 you should eat every single day to boost strength, brain health, and mobility. These aren't fads. They're backed by real science and real results, and when you put them into action, you'll feel the difference in just days. So if you care about your independence, clarity, and energy, tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment below saying, "I'm ready to take back control." Because what you'll learn today might be the missing piece you've been searching for.
Seemingly healthy vegetables can quietly weaken your body after 60. Margaret, 67, kept her fridge stocked with what she believed were healthy vegetables: corn, green peas, canned carrots, and even baked potatoes. She felt proud, thinking her meals were balanced and nourishing. But her blood sugar wouldn't stabilize, her joint pain worsened, and her balance started to slip. Her doctor gently explained, some of these vegetables, despite appearances, were working against her. Margaret was shocked. She had no idea her healthy plate was draining her strength and mobility. The issue lies in the glycemic load. Vegetables like corn and peas may look harmless, but they trigger blood sugar spikes that exhaust insulin response over time. That's a problem when you're over 60 and already more vulnerable to insulin resistance, diabetic circulation problems, and A1C elevation. What seems like a smart choice can quietly sabotage your metabolic health, especially when these foods appear on your plate every single day. Margaret decided to make one small change. Swap canned peas for steamed broccoli and cauliflower. She added a handful of spinach to her morning eggs and replaced roasted potatoes with zucchini slices brushed in olive oil. Within weeks, she felt steadier when walking and noticed less swelling in her knees. It wasn't drastic, it was intentional, and it made all the difference. What many people miss is that vegetables impact more than digestion. They influence brain health, circulation, and even your risk of falling. Processed or starchy vegetables, when overused, don't support independence. They stress the joints, fog the mind, and reduce strength gradually. It's not about eliminating food. It's about choosing smarter every single time you prepare a meal. A helpful strategy? Break your plate into zones. 1/3 should be leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables, 1/3 lean protein, and 1/3 healthy fat or root veggies with low glycemic impact. Think sautéed kale, grilled salmon, and roasted turnips instead of mashed potatoes. Add lemon juice or vinegar to lower glycemic response even more. These are subtle shifts that compound over time. Margaret realized the hard way that healthy isn't always helpful. The wrong vegetables, cooked the wrong way, were slowly eroding her energy. But with better choices, her posture improved, her glucose levels balanced out, and she felt confident walking alone again. One grocery trip can change your week. One decision can change your trajectory. And yet most people keep making the same choices until something breaks. What if the vegetables you're trusting are part of the very inflammation you're trying to avoid? What if they're fueling something much deeper? Anti-inflammatory vegetables help protect muscles, bones, and brain. Thomas, 70, loved working in his backyard. But lately, his hands trembled while pruning flowers, and he struggled to remember why he walked into a room. Frustrated and tired, he blamed aging, until his daughter pointed out his diet. no greens, barely any fiber, and lots of processed meals. His doctor introduced a new word to his vocabulary: inflammation. And it all started with what was missing from his plate. Anti-inflammatory vegetables like arugula, kale, spinach, and watercress don't just help, they heal. They're packed with antioxidants, magnesium, and vitamin K that support circulation, reduce joint pain, and feed the brain. When you're over 60, that means more stability, stronger bones, and sharper memory. These greens work like tiny soldiers, fighting silent inflammation one bite at a time. Thomas started adding a daily salad with dark leafy greens, sliced avocado, and pumpkin seeds. He sprinkled turmeric into his soups and swapped iceberg lettuce for kale in his sandwiches. In 2 weeks, he said his brain woke up, his grip improved, and even his sleep felt deeper. No medication, just better nutrients fueling his recovery. These vegetables are loaded with the building blocks of independence. They stabilize glucose levels, reduce the impact of blood sugar spikes, and protect the body from the wear and tear of daily life. Think of them as internal repair crews, quiet, steady, and essential. And they don't just help the present, they protect your future self. Want to apply this today? Roast Brussels sprouts with garlic, add bok choy to a stir-fry, or blend spinach into a smoothie with almond milk and cinnamon. These aren't expensive trends, they're ancient remedies that science now validates. One of the best anti-inflammatory combinations? Kale sautéed with turmeric, olive oil, and a squeeze of lemon. Thomas looks back now and says, "I wasn't getting old, I was just undernourished." His strength returned, his focus sharpened, and his hands became steadier than they'd been in months. That's the power of the right vegetables working in harmony with your body. But inflammation isn't always loud. In fact, the most dangerous kind is the one you don't feel until it's already affecting everything from your knees to your memory.
Chronic silent inflammation is a hidden threat to seniors' health. Linda, 73, had no fever, no visible swelling, no major health red flags, but her energy was drained. Her thoughts felt cloudy. Her legs ached for no reason. Everyone around her told her it was just getting older, but one sharp nutritionist told her something else. This sounds like chronic inflammation. It was the first time Linda heard the term, and it changed everything. Silent inflammation is like smoke without fire. It spreads through the body, damaging tissues, irritating joints, disrupting glucose levels, and increasing fall risk. Unlike acute inflammation, which you can see and feel, this one works quietly, wearing you down over years. It's heavily linked to insulin resistance, A1C elevation, and even early cognitive decline. Linda's meals were carb-heavy and veggie-light. She drank orange juice every morning and ate white bread with jam. Small choices that added up to big problems. When she switched to an anti-inflammatory routine, chia pudding with berries, a kale omelet, lentils with turmeric, her fog lifted, her balance improved, her pain subsided, her blood sugar finally stabilized. Inflammation also affects circulation, which explains the tingling in feet, the blurry vision, the cold hands. Seniors with diabetic circulation issues are especially vulnerable. Add poor food choices on top of that, and it's like pouring gasoline on a slow-burning fire. Without intervention, inflammation accelerates aging and weakens every major system in the body. If you've ever felt off without a reason, like something just isn't clicking, it might be your food talking. Swap refined carbs for whole grains, use olive oil instead of butter, and eat one cruciferous vegetable every day. Steamed cabbage, snack on radishes, or sip green tea with ginger. These aren't just healthy habits, they're fire extinguishers for your system. Linda now includes at least 3 anti-inflammatory foods in every meal. She keeps a jar of turmeric mixed with black pepper and sprinkles it into soups and eggs. It's her brain and joint formula, as she calls it. No expensive prescriptions, just nature doing what it does best. And while some threats are visible, others build silently, meal after meal. But there's one more hidden danger people rarely notice because it all seems so harmless until they turn on the stove.
How you cook your vegetables can turn them into a health risk. James, 66, thought his roasted veggie medley was his healthiest habit. He'd chop potatoes, carrots, and squash, toss them in vegetable oil, and bake until crispy, every night. But despite these healthy meals, his glucose levels stayed high and his knees screamed every morning. His doctor's advice shocked him. Your vegetables are good, but your cooking method is hurting you. High-heat cooking methods, like frying, over-roasting, and grilling with refined oils, can destroy delicate nutrients and create inflammatory compounds. That beautiful golden crust? It's often a sign of advanced glycation, which worsens insulin resistance and contributes to diabetic neuropathy. For those over 60, cooking becomes more than flavor, it's chemistry. James changed everything. He swapped roasting for steaming, started using avocado oil or olive oil, and stopped drowning his veggies in cheese. He used lemon, garlic, and herbs instead. Suddenly, his knees stopped throbbing. His glucose dropped. He even stopped waking up during the night with numb feet. Not from a miracle pill, just from a shift in the kitchen. A good rule of thumb? If your veggies look overly soft, brown, or oily, you've likely cooked away their power. Keep the crunch. Use water-based cooking. Steam kale, blanch green beans, lightly stir-fry bok choy. Bonus? Add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar at the end. It helps balance blood sugar and wakes up the flavor. James's go-to dinner now? Steamed broccoli, quinoa, grilled salmon, and a drizzle of tahini with lemon. Simple, quick, and powerful. He even batch preps his meals so he doesn't rely on the microwave or takeout. It's not fancy. It's functional fuel. Once he understood that cooking was part of his medicine, James became more intentional. Cooking now feels like a form of healing, not just habit. He often says, "My body talks less now, because I finally started listening." But even with the best cooking habits, the key lies in consistency. It's what you do day in and day out that shapes your strength, your balance, and your ability to stay free and independent.
Small daily food choices shape your strength, balance, and independence. Deborah, 71, lived alone in a cozy apartment with her rescue cat, Rosie. She loved solving crosswords and tending to her balcony garden, but she started feeling lightheaded when getting out of bed and unsteady while stepping off curbs. Her meals seemed normal: toast with jam, juice, crackers, canned soup. But normal wasn't nourishing, and her independence was slowly slipping away, one small choice at a time. When you're over 60, the body becomes more sensitive to nutritional gaps. Swapping fiber for white carbs, skipping vegetables, or overdosing on sugar-free snacks might seem harmless, but it disrupts glucose levels and weakens muscle tone. That leads to more falls, slower circulation, and even cognitive decline. Independence isn't lost in one day. It's chipped away at by hundreds of unnoticed food decisions. Deborah made small but powerful changes. She replaced morning toast with Greek yogurt, chia seeds, and berries. She swapped soda for water with lemon and added lentils and spinach to her lunch. In just 30 days, her balance improved and she walked steadier without holding on to walls. The secret wasn't in a pill or a program. It was in her plate. You don't need a radical overhaul. Start by eating one anti-inflammatory vegetable every day. Plan your snacks: sliced cucumber with hummus, roasted chickpeas, or an apple with almond butter. Eat colors: red cabbage, green kale, orange bell peppers.
These nutrients feed your joints, protect your vision, and help regulate your A1C without effort or stress. Want to make grocery shopping easier? Stick to the perimeter of the store where fresh foods live. Make a list: spinach, broccoli, avocado, beets, onions, and fresh herbs. Prep your meals on Sundays. Steam and store greens in glass containers. Keep nuts, seeds, and olive oil handy. Consistency is key, not perfection. Deborah now says, "I cook like I'm protecting my future." And she is. Her muscles feel stronger. Her vision is clearer. She even caught herself dancing while cleaning, something she hadn't done in years. Those little food choices, they're what made the biggest difference. But even with better habits, many seniors still unknowingly eat foods that look healthy but aren't. So before you feel too confident in your choices, there's something you need to know about what's hiding in your favorite vegetables.
Now that you've seen how powerful and dangerous certain vegetables can be, take a moment to reflect. How many of these healthy habits were part of your routine last week? And how many will still be there tomorrow? Because the truth is, your independence isn't protected by luck. It's built on small daily choices. From what's in your fridge to how you cook dinner, every decision moves you closer to strength or weakness, freedom or dependency. And the good news? It's never too late to turn it around. Are you willing to swap confusion for clarity, joint pain for energy, and weakness for confidence? Or are you going to keep doing what you've always done, hoping for a different result? Tell me in the comments, which vegetables surprised you the most, and what change are you going to make today? Let's inspire each other to take control, meal by meal. And hey, if this video helped open your eyes, give it a like, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Your future self will thank you.